Hi, I'm Craig Wilson, Vice President of Training for Kingsdown. I thought what would be interesting is to take you inside our facility and show you how your mattresses are actually made. Now, the first thing you need to understand is Kingsdown carries zero finished goods inventory. We actually start to make your product the moment it is ordered. We're on a process that's called made to truckload. What that means is we collect all the orders that come in, we route them on a truck, and then we begin to build those products for that truck. Now, I wanted to start here in the quilting department because this part of the process takes the longest time. You think about it, all your different beds on the floor all have a different type of quilt. Anytime that we change any of the layers of foam, think about what has to happen here is that we have to take these large rolls of foam off. We have to find the right foam that goes into the quilt, re-skewer it, and refeed it through the system itself. What happens here is all the layers in the quilt are combined, rolled together, all the way up to the top where it's going to be added to the very top tick or cover, and finally through the quilter to be all sewn together. Okay, so as you saw all of those materials being pulled in off of those rolls, the needles on the inside of here will connect all of those materials together, either through a straight quilt pattern or through what's called a tack and jump. Now, just as a side note, since we're here, this gives us a great opportunity to actually see why it's called a tack and jump quilt. You see that the needle came in, it tacked into this point, but then it pulled out and jumped over to this area and tacked again. Now, that type of quilt pattern allows us to hold everything together, but allow those foams to react, gives us a nice soft top. Okay, so now we're on to the back side of the quilter. We're going to see the actual panel come out here. Now, as the panel comes through, we've punched into the computer what size we're making. So there's electronic eyes down the center here that tell us when the panel reaches the proper length. When it reaches that, a blade shoots across the back there and sends the panel down the slide. So as that panel came off of the quilter, you see that we got to round the edges, and of course we got to sew the edge of this to make it clean, and we use a special sewing machine for that. Now, this special sewing machine will shape the edges, it'll take off any excess, and it'll also add a little what we call a flange, a little piece of fabric to the underside of that quilted panel. You may be able to see there's holes in this table. It is a table that's supported by air, so kind of like an air hockey table. Air is being pumped up to lift that panel up off the table. Kind of allows the operator to be able to spin it and move it as necessary with a little more ease. So you can see how it's shaping the sides and rounding those edges. Now we're going to make the border. It's using a very similar quilting process that we saw before, but just less material. The main difference now is as it comes off, it goes through this extra set of blades that will cut that into the right height border for each of the individual mattresses. Okay, so you saw rolls of quilted border material come off of the quilter there, but now we got to put them into the sizes that we need. In this particular case, she's taking that border quilt, she's stretching it out, measuring it along this table to understand just what size we're making. Here we're making a couple of queens. Now she's going to mark some areas on here. So this will give other operators down the line an idea of where to put those handles. So you saw us measuring the quilted border and we cut it to the proper length. Now we're going to add those famous double cross stitch usable turn handles. One thing that's unique about Kingsdown is that we have an entire embroidery department. We're unlimited in what we can do here in shape and size and color, but our favorite is a big Kingsdown logo. What we're going to do in this area, we're going to take that finished border. Now we're going to put a taped edge across the top of it. As that taped edge goes on, it cleans up the edge. Puts another stitch into those double cross stitch handles as well. Now when she's done with this side of it, she's going to take it and flip it over, and this is where she will attach the non-skid material used at the bottom of the mattresses. Think about what we're doing. We're trying to build a tub that the actual mattress will sit inside. So we've got a non-skid material underneath and a nice clean taped edge border. Now you're going to notice as she goes along here, remember we measured these borders earlier? This is where those measurements are key. She's got to find the right spot to put both of those labels. That's where those markings come in. Now we want to make the tub for the foundation, or the cover for the foundation. Our Kingsdown products use a quilted top panel to the foundation itself, which is absolutely unique. So she's going to take this quilted panel and attach it to your foundation border along with this law label. So we're about halfway done. In essence, what we have done is build the outside of both the mattress and the foundation. You remember, you saw that top panel being quilted, then you saw it being shaped and readied. Then of course we have the border for the mattress itself. You saw it being attached to the non-skid underside of the mattress, and you saw those handles being added on. And we also have the cover for the foundation as well. So you saw it all being sewn on, in this case with that quilted top panel. Now we're ready to go into final production. So now we're going to build the chassis and put the engine inside of it. It starts with that base foam, as you see, and now we're going to put in the full body surround. A thick layer of foam gives us a great edge around the outside. Now, they're going to glue those edges and sides to that base foam. Okay, so now the tub is built. Now we're going to put in the engine. In this particular case, you know it's a 1791 tri-zone. You see that silent partner foam running down through the center. Now what makes us uniquely different is this next step. What I want you to pay attention to is, as they place the upholstery foam over the top, notice how it goes all the way to the edge. They're actually going to attach it to the edge support. Now, we believe that minimizes any shifting of the internal materials. It also helps to keep those borders nice and straight, so you don't get that edge blowout, so to speak. This is why we call our edge support full body surround. This station also prepares the rest of the upholstery layer. In this case, 2 layers of latex, and then they're going to attach the micro coil. By the way, you may notice that they don't need to wear masks or anything while applying this adhesive. It's because it's a water-based glue. There's no off-gassing or any harmful chemicals. Once the chassis is built and the engine put in and the upholstery foam's prepared, this next team wraps around the mattress cover and tacks it down, and then places the upholstery and that top panel in place and sends it off to final closing. The next step is to close the mattress. Using this unique sewing machine, the operator attaches the border to the top panel by sewing on a fabric tape. The operator is going to pull the panel and the border together and guide the machine to be able to attach this fabric tape. We get these beautiful straight edges because we cut our top panels to the right size. That allows the operator to make these long runs rather than pulling too hard and pausing, which tends to cause waves in the border. For this specific mattress, we actually add a second border tape. The second tape is simply for looks. We wanted to have a big, thick border tape that looks like high-end upholstery. But we had to add that first tape to meet the FR regulations. The earliest mattresses were held together by straps and tufts inserted by human beings. Well, some of the Kingsdown products still are today. Watch as he puts the tufts into this mattress. First, we're going to position the mattress. Then you see the system compress the mattress all the way down. It's going to take long needles and push them all the way through. As he walks around to the other side, he'll add the straps to the end of those long needles and ultimately pull them back through. There he'll add the top of a tuft, known as a rosette. Once those are complete, the mattress is released and off for final inspection. So let's start to make your foundation. It starts with Canadian spruce as the base that's all been nailed together, and using a long nose nailer, we'll tack down each element within that foundation. In this particular case, we're going to overlay a semi-flex foundation. Then we're going to wrap that border around, tack it down all the way around, and then add those corner guards. In this case, they're nickel plated. Final step is to add the dust cover, and now it's off for final inspection. Now, as part of our quality management process, Kingsdown does something absolutely unique in this industry in that we test every single mattress before it leaves our plant. Using what we call the inline comfort support analysis, we will make sure that the mattress that we just made is identical to a master production specification. First, the ICSA will press down into the first 2 inches of the mattress to make sure that we got the comfort layers correct and measure it against that master spec. Then, watch this, it'll take a deep dive, 5 inches into the bed, through the quilt layers, through the upholstery layers, all the way down into the coil system to make sure every aspect of that mattress matches the master spec. Rather than making it wrong and shipping it to you wrong, we skip all that nonsense. We make sure it's right before it leaves our plant. Once the mattress and foundation have finished final inspection, they're ready for the bagger. The mattress is compressed, the plastic is melted on 3 sides, sealing the mattress inside. Once released, the operator places a tag. Well, so there you have it. Your brand new Kingsdown bed, made to order, made by hand, and on its way.